Hey, loves. So, good evening and welcome to the third episode of 365 Days with Neek. I hope you all have been doing well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So, for tonight, our topic is where would you like to see yourself in 5, 10, and 20 years from now? I'm not gonna lie, I had to really think about this question because sometimes, we get into the moment and we are really just living in the present, trying to prepare for the future. But it gets kind of difficult sometimes. Like, even, for myself, I've had goals and just different things that I wanted to do. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have this and this at this point in time, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. So getting this prompt really gave me a challenge and gave me a lot to think about because honestly, I had not thought about a 5, 10, or 20-year plan because of what I have currently going on in my present everyday life. I think more about what's happening now and I need to prepare for the immediate future, not the future where we are years, down the line and, I don't know what's going to happen. So with that being said, looking at what I put down for myself in 5 years, I put that I would like to have a concise monthly budget consisting of savings, investments, and bills. Now this would be kind of like a starting point. Of course, I know that in 5 years, that's going to go by really fast. And I would just like to try to start implementing these things every year, every month, to build up to something greater, right? Also, establish a consistent exercise habits. I put on here, I wanted to try to do more with like weights. I do walking, I do cardio and stuff like that, but I really want to get into my weightlifting bag, like not become a weightlifter, of course, but lifting weights helps to tone and, it makes your curves look the way that, you want them to look. I'm already curvy, but I want to define those curves, okay? Next thing is going to be for me to build on my craft and get more established in my businesses. So for those of you that may not know, I am life insurance licensed in the state and 4 other states. I'll go over that another time. But I have been life insurance licensed since 2018. And then I also have a cosmetic brand that I sell called Jafra. I'll talk about that some more as well. But just building on those crafts and again, getting more established in those businesses because, of course, I do have a long-term goal of just wanting to be rich off my own businesses. So building on that and then paying off small debt. I know that my big debt, will come, but just having it to where I can pay off, or throughout the years leading up into that 5-year mark, paying off whatever small debt that I can. I still probably will have my 9 to 5 just in 5 years. It takes a little bit longer than 5 years for you to become really established. So I would like to have a promotion or a high raise within whatever position I'm in with the job that I currently have. And then also putting a down payment on my forever home. I feel like in 5 years, I should at least have myself established enough to where I can put down a payment on the home that me and my kids are going to have for forever. At that time, they always say a lady never tells her age, but I'm 35. Well, I'm 34 and fabulous, but I'll be 35 in December. I'm a Capricorn, yay. But with that, yes, I feel like by the time I turn 40, probably will happen before then, but at least by then, I want for me and my kids to at least have an idea or lay out something of what we want our forever home to be and where we want to be, which is important as well. And so that's my goal for those are my goals for what I want my life to look like in 5 years. My 10-year plan was pretty short and sweet. Um, by that point, I would like to have an accountant because, of course, with me paying off debt and establishing a concise monthly budget of savings, investments, and whatever my bills are, I need an accountant. I would say someone that can help me to be able to manage those things. Now, with me being life insurance licensed and certified, of course, whatever you want to say, I do have some background in financial literacy, but that's not an area of expertise. I am good with money, of course, being a single mom and having 4 children. I've always been money conscious and just having financial literacy in me. My grandmother was an accountant. So I guess that just kind of trickled down, to me. But with that being said as well, I would like to have 6 times my salary in my savings in a 10-year mark. I've always, and with the financial literacy, I've always been told, and have seen where you should have at least 6 times your salary in your savings account at all times. That way, if you ever have any emergencies, Lord forbid you lose your job, something happens, that amount of money will allow you to be able to carry on until something else comes in to take over whatever it is that you may have lost. So, on top of that, I also said I want to build and have an established investment portfolio. Of course, that goes back into the fact that I already want a concise budget so that I will be able to put in a certain amount into savings every month, raise it if I want to, but just to have that monthly budget right. And so, with that being said, of course, having an established investment portfolio would allow me to be able to see what I'm working with, where I'm going financially. Also, leaving a legacy for my children. They all have bank accounts that I try to pour into, and if I can, so just having all of that organized and put together is going to be most important to me. Okay, and now for my 20-year plan. Um, Basically, I'm gonna just read it all and I'll run through a little bit. So, maintaining physical and mental activity with yoga, my weightlifting, and gardening. That is really something that I want to get into. It looks so relaxing. Of course, that's why I said I want to try to have my down payment for my home so that I can do my gardening and, just live in peace. Continue oh Lord, I can't even read my own handwriting, Lord. Continue journaling and walking. Those two things have been very beneficial in my life as of late. Like I said, just trying to stay healthy and be organized with my journaling, and then with walking. By that time I may be running but at least just having those two things implemented so that I can make sure that my daily routines are concise with what I want them to be. Speaking of daily routines, I said daily routines with my sleeping, my nutrition, and movement, which would be exercising, are non-negotiable. I want to have those things implemented in my life in a certain type of schedule. I have my kids on the schedule. They're always in the bed 7:30, 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm at. That's bedtime, and I try to keep it that way unless I absolutely can. So implementing that stuff for me, non-negotiable and scheduled. When I say I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, that's what time I'm going to bed. I don't care what's going on. Special occasions maybe deter from that, but I want for that to be what it is. My nutrition, what I'm eating, how I'm eating, that's non-negotiable. Movement, when I exercise, what time I exercise, if I'm gonna be getting up at 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning so that I could get in some exercise before I start my day. That schedule, that's non-negotiable. It's no other talking about that. I want to be working by choice. How and when I work. Those two things are very important to me. That one thing tying into those two things, being able to work by choice. Again, getting rich off of my own business. I do not want to work for someone for the rest of my life. I do not see that. I've never seen that. I do what I have to do now, but that's always been a long-term goal for me. I want to have myself in a position where I can give back. Giving back to my community, whether that's my time, money, whatever I have, I want to be able to give back to my community. Just showing my kids, showing other children that once you get to a certain point in life, and you have poured into yourself, you have to pour into other people. You have to give back. The Lord put us on this earth to be fruitful and also to, be able to use our blessings to try to help other people. He doesn't put us on this earth to just be selfish and not want to help anybody else when we have the resources to be able to do more than what they can do, right? Also having digital freedom. Of course, that's, numero uno, cell phone technology, digital freedom. When I say that, that also means just being able to take my items with me whenever I go. My tablet, my laptop, whatever I have at that point in time, just having digital freedom. So anytime I want to work, I can. I want to network, I want to market, I want to do anything. I can do all of those things, with that digital freedom. Debt free. 5 and 10 years, I was saying, okay, let me go ahead and pay off those small debts. Then we move on to some bigger size debts. Yeah, 20 years, I want to be debt free. It's no other way around it. I will not go into 2045 with any debt tied to my name, and I am manifesting that today. I want to have a robust investment portfolio. Robust, large. Okay, yeah. We're moving into, we're going to have that robust investment portfolio because I want to have passive income. That passive income is that money that you're going to make in your sleep. You don't have to be worrying about it too tough. It's not hard. That's that income that's just continuously rolling in no matter what. Also having an urban home. Not too big on country living. I am originally from New Jersey, even though currently now I am in the country. Yes, I want to have a urban home in a city area where everything is pretty much close by. I want to have land. I want to have my own space, my own privacy. But yes, and then last thing is going to be having anchored relationships. Yes, when I say anchored relationships, that means my close family, my children, my spouse by that time, my parents, my grandparents. Hopefully I still have all of these people here with me at that time. So yeah, those relationships, again, being anchored into my life, because those are the most important people that I would be listening to, making sure that I'm getting their opinions and their wants and needs are being met as long with mine as well. Saying anchored because, like I said again, those are going to be the most important relationships in my life. There's going to anchor my soul, my well-being, everything about me, comes from my background, my relationship, the way that my kids respond to me, what they want, what they need. I need all of those things to be anchored into my life because, again, those things are non-negotiable as well. Those are the things that those are the people and their opinions and their thoughts and their wants and needs are things that I'm going to have to consistently deal with no matter where I am in life, no matter what I am doing in life. And so those relationships also foster, some decisions that I may make as well. So, yeah. Hopefully you can take some time out to sit down and think about where you want your life to be in 5 and 10 years. And then also writing this stuff down just puts it into fruition for me. Like I said, this is something, it helps me feel like I'm manifesting, I'm organizing, I'm getting things together. And, it just has me feeling really good about my future. Of course, like, subscribe, and share. Please and thank you. And we'll be back with episode 4.